Well, we are less than a month out from President-elect Donald Trump returning to the White House. He has promised swift action on illegal immigration, especially when it comes to immediate mass deportations. Fox 23 anchor Rick Marinon has been covering this issue extensively and in depth since Trump won re-election. Now he looks at how the state of Oklahoma is preparing before Trump is sworn in again.
Vote Republican and we will begin the largest deportation operation in American history.
It was a promise President-elect Donald Trump made on the campaign trail. Mass deportations of illegal immigrants starting on day one, and it's a promise he plans to keep.
They promised, this administration promised, they're going to concentrate on the criminal aliens. That was a priority. Secretary Mayorkas said it. I looked at the stats today. The removal of criminal aliens is down 74% from President Trump. We have more criminals here than we ever had.
Within the first days of his election victory, Trump appointed Tom Homan as his border czar. He's a former acting director of Immigrations and Customs Enforcement, ICE as it's known, who will lead the deportations.
So when you enter this country illegally, you have committed a crime. You are a criminal, and you're not off the table.
At the state and federal level, the agreement is that those who've committed crimes after they've already crossed the border illegally will be first.
We will prioritize public safety threats and national security threats first.
Even while Trump was campaigning for a return to the White House, Oklahoma state lawmakers were already gathering information on how many illegal immigrants were in the state, especially within Oklahoma's prison system. Former House Criminal Justice and Corrections Chairman J.J. Humphrey says housing those who are already ordered to be deported is a waste of taxpayer money.
We don't need to pay the $60-something, $80-something a day to have these people sitting in prison.
In total, there are 594 immigrants in Oklahoma prisons who are illegal or their status is unknown. 480 of them are housed in Oklahoma prisons under a relationship with ICE. There's an additional 114 immigrants in prison who are serving sentences, but there is no agreement with ICE. 68 in ODOC custody have an unknown status but are not American citizens. Things get even more complicated at the county level.
Theoretically, you would say that with the amount of people coming through and those that have committed crimes, that should be held accountable for that? Absolutely, but they're not. They're coming in and they're leaving right out the back door.
As Fox 23 reported back in 2022, the Biden administration ordered county jails to give most, but not all illegal immigrants arrested for crimes access to bail like an American citizen. County sheriffs were ordered to consider things like, is the illegal immigrant the primary provider for their family? Do they have children who would be impacted? Are they mentally ill? And was this crime violent? Because the illegal immigrant population in county jails plummeted to record lows. In the Tulsa County Jail alone, during the last Trump administration, there were 6,144. 4,638 of those inmates were being held for ICE. In the first 2 years of the Biden administration, it was just 1,302, with 416 of them in jail for ICE. Oklahoma Attorney General Gentner Drummond says because of this, many arrested for a crime were given a court date, but they never showed up and went into hiding. They have never been punished for their crimes. Both Drummond's office and the governor's office are already preparing local, county, and state law enforcement agencies to crack down on criminal illegals, both in and out of custody.
I think what we can anticipate is under the Trump administration, a firm hand on all illegal actors. I think we start that. I mean, to the listener that's worried, that this is going to be, reckless and abandoned. No. There are a lot of illegal actors that we will start with. The fruit is low. We need to pick it and get it out of the United States.
Shortly after Homan was appointed by Trump, Governor Kevin Stitt ordered Public Safety Commissioner Tim Tipton to prepare for what is known as Operation Guardian. It's a plan crafted for the expedited removal of criminal illegals that will be shared with the Trump transition team before Trump ever takes office. It will lay out how the state and ICE will work together.
So I look at it solely from a public safety and national security standpoint, and that is my focus on what we need to do to make a safer nation and a safer state of Oklahoma.
The governor's office says taxpayers spend around $36,000 a day on just illegal immigrants serving sentences for crimes in state prisons who are set to be deported once all their time is served. With the permission of the Trump administration, Tipton says the state is fine with deporting criminal illegals now, even if they have a lot of time left on their sentences.
We don't need to hold these people any longer. There's federal laws on the books. There's standards in place that just haven't been acted upon, that this isn't a long-term problem. we know where those 600 are.
Drummond says while many people see illegal immigrants as being Hispanic or Latino, Oklahoma is actually flooded with Chinese nationals as well, who illegally cross the border and have been connected to human and sex trafficking on illegal marijuana farms. He points to the arrest of Chin Wu, a Chinese national who killed 4 other Chinese nationals on an illegal marijuana farm outside of Hennessy back in 2022. While men like Wu have been arrested, during the last 4 years, ICE has only been interested in kingpins and big actors. Drummond says many low-level Chinese nationals at these illegal operations were given summons to court or bond and just don't show back up.
We bring them in, we detain them, we would call ICE, and they would say, well, please give them a card and show up at a detention facility within the next 45 days. 2 weeks from now, I'm in a different row, busting it, same 6 guys that we detained and gave the card to. And so this is just a recurring example.
Drummond and Tipton say when it comes to rounding those up arrested or summoned to court who have never faced a judge or any punishment for their crimes, it could easily take Trump's first few years, if not his entire second term, just to round all of them up. Obviously, there are no changes happening in the coming weeks because President Biden remains in office until mid-January. But there are a lot of preparations underway that will likely lead to immediate action within the first days, if not the first hours of the second Trump administration. He may even have a big announcement during his inauguration speech. Covering news that matters, Rick Marin on Fox 23 News.
While there has been talk at the national level about what to do about children who are in the country illegally, as well as adults who have broken no other laws at the state level, we asked, and no, there is no clear and direct plan being put together for those people. However, if law enforcement comes into contact with someone who is determined to be in the country illegally for whatever reason, then arrest and deportation proceedings are likely to start immediately.